Straight ahead, less than a week until we head to the polls. The race for president is tighter than ever. Another 2 police officers were killed in the line of duty. We'll tell you about the hunt for the suspect. And it's a player's dream. The World Series is headed to a Game 7. Who will end up on top, the Cubs or the Indians? And something new at Starbucks has created a stir. OC News starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us at OC News. I'm Raylan Taylor.
And I'm Roxana Powell. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton. You can now cast your vote early or change your vote during the 2016 election. Melina Joseph tells us how.
On Tuesday in Phoenix, Arizona, 102-year-old Jerry Ament showed up in patriotic socks to drop off her early ballot for what she hopes will be our first woman president. When 102-year-old Jerry Ament was born, women didn't have the right to vote. She remembers the day her mother's cast was very first ballot.
I said to my hairdresser the other day, I said something about voting. She said, I don't vote. She said, I don't want to lose. I said, you've lost already.
She's encouraging others to go to the polls and vote. You heard it from Jerry. If you're not voting, you're losing. Speaking of voting, Election Day 2016 is officially 6 days away and millions of Americans have already cast their ballot due to early voting. You too can now cast your vote early at the following locations: Anaheim Civic Center, Costa Mesa Community Center, Irvine Civic Center, Mission Viejo City Hall, Westminster Branch Library, Orange County Registrar, and at the University of California, Irvine. It's a race to the finish for presidential challengers Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Both candidates and their surrogates are crisscrossing the country to make their final pitch to voters, especially those in battleground states. The latest CNN poll of polls shows Clinton with a 5-point lead over Trump nationally, 47 to 42%, but the race has tightened in key battleground states, which could determine the winner. Clinton is up by only 2 points in Florida. Trump has a slightly larger 5-point lead in Arizona. Clinton has a 4-point advantage in Pennsylvania, and Trump is up 6 points in Nevada. Those tight margins have the candidates and their surrogates hitting the battlegrounds hard in the final days. Trump and Vice President Biden are in Florida, and Mike Pence is in Arizona, where Clinton will also be campaigning Wednesday night. Now, let's say you voted for Donald Trump, but then realize that Hillary Clinton may be a better fit for president. Don't worry, these states are allowing voters to change their votes. The states include Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, and Mississippi. If you're not voting in these states, unfortunately, you will not be able to change your vote. So before you vote, make sure you're positive about your decision on who you see fit to be the next president. Lastly, don't forget to vote for the 17 California propositions, which will also be on the November ballot. Issues include marijuana legalization, condoms and porn, gun control, death penalty, tobacco taxes, and more. That's all we have for politics today. I'm Melina Joseph. Back to you in the studio.
Costa Mesa police have arrested a man who allegedly beat another man to death with a hammer. The attack happened near Vanguard Way and Danbury Lane outside an apartment complex at about 8:45 this morning. Both men have been reported to be in their 50s. The victim was found dead at the scene naked, and the attacker was placed in custody on a $1 million bail. Christine Anna said that she was at her apartment window when she heard yelling in the parking lot. I saw a man swinging a tool into a car from outside of it, she said. I thought he was trying to break a window at first. The first officer to arrive at the scene found the victim on his back after already being assaulted. The other man, who was standing next to him unarmed, fled the scene after being questioned by the officer. The hammer that was used for the homicide was later found in a nearby vehicle. The identity of both men has not been released. There is no known relationship between the two, and the motive has yet to be determined.
An Iowa man wanted in connection to the ambush-style attacks on 2 police officers is now in police custody. Raquel Navarro has more details.
Just 1 month after 2 police officers were killed and 1 was wounded in Palm Springs, tragedy has struck police departments in Iowa. Just this morning, 2 officers found dead in their cars, just minutes apart. Officials are investigating and details are still emerging. Here's what we know so far. The two Iowa police officers were found fatally shot in their vehicles at separate intersections in the Des Moines area early Wednesday. The first was discovered just after 1 a.m. About 20 minutes later, a second officer was found at an intersection less than 2 miles away. He died a short time later at a nearby hospital.
It doesn't appear that either officer had an opportunity to interact with the suspect. It doesn't look like there was an exchange of conversation. Both officers were seated in their cars and were shot while they were sitting.
46-year-old Scott Michael Green was taken into custody after a 7-hour manhunt.
He was just walking down the road, flagged down a DNR employee. I don't think it was a DNR officer. Flagged down a DNR employee, presented his driver's license to him, told him to call 911. From there, the responding deputies took him into custody without incident.
Police said Green was known to authorities and had recently been in an altercation involving the Confederate battle flag during a high school football game.
He was waving it during the national anthem, and he had picked some people of color to wave it in front of, and although they didn't complain to us, there's people in the crowd that felt that was offensive and that he should be removed from the stadium.
Officials are still searching for the weapon involved in the shootings. Locals have rallied around their police departments as news of the shooting spread. The deceased officers have been identified as Des Moines PD Sergeant Anthony Bimino and Urbandale Police Officer Justin Martin. I'm Raquel Navarro reporting for OC News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Coming up next, Halloween celebrations for the dead are still alive. Find out more about the 3-day celebration of the Day of the Dead when we come back from the break.
Oh yes, and I love Dia de los Muertos. And we'll get an inside look on the community's largest event to raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer care, and more evidence that consuming too many energy drinks is bad for your health.
It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan pride is at the heart of who we are.
There is a big celebration going on campus that involves a lot of schools as well, a well-respect for the dead. Yesenia Gomez is in the quad with more information. Yesenia?
I'm here live in front of the Humanities Building at Cal State Fullerton, where they are hosting their Day of the Dead celebration. Currently, Ballet Folclórico Nuestras Raíces is performing. Day of the Dead, also known as Dia de los Muertos, is a 3-day event used to honor those who have passed away. But many of us don't know the real significance behind it.
Anything about the Day of the Dead? I know it's a celebration in Latin American cultures, honoring their deceased, but that's about all I know.
When we're trying to understand the history and the significance of this event, and it's not the Mexican Halloween, it's not a kind of a Cinco de Mayo type thing where it's just a party. The significance and the relevance of the event is this is about the larger worldview that life and death are interconnected, that you can't have one without the other.
Here at Cal State Fullerton, they threw the celebration out the roof. They had a beautifully decorated altar. They gave away free pan de muerto and champurrado. There was arts and crafts throughout the day. And they had performances from Ballet Folclórico de CSUF. And to top it all off, they had local vendors come in so they can sell their traditional and modern representations of the culture. The celebration continues until 8 p.m. today. Well, that's all for me. I'm going to go check out these vendors. See you in the studio.
Now that looks like a great event. It's no surprise that Southern California is nice and toasty, even we are expecting cooler temperatures. With the holiday season in full swing, it looks as though we are going to have some more sunshine in these next few days. Miranda has more on the weather forecast.
Yes, that's right, Raylan. We did have some cool breezes today, but mainly some sunshine. We had some highs around the lower 80s, 83, and some lows tonight will be around 53, so it'll be quite chilly. We're expecting that sunset to be around 5:57 this evening, but speaking about sunsets, you know what this weekend is. You guessed it, daylight savings will be ending November 6th, so make sure you set your clocks back because we will be getting some more sunshine earlier in the day, as well as having some earlier sunsets all starting next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at our 5-day forecast. For Thursday, we do have some mostly sunny, highs in 87 and low around 57. Friday, 81, mostly sunny again. It's going to be a little bit cloudier though. Winds will vary and it will be at lows in 57. Around Saturday, we will have some more sunshine all for you today, and around 80 earlier in the day, around 56 in the evening, as well as Sunday, we will be having a little bit more cool, a little bit more clouds, and it will be 75 and 55. And then Monday will be high, a little lower, 78 and 56. And I know we're all waiting for the cool weather, but we're just going to have to wait a little longer. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you. And now, can the consumption of energy drinks land you in the hospital? Raquel Navarro had more on the story.
A man developed acute hepatitis from drinking one too many energy drinks. According to BMGK's report, he was a 50-year-old man who would drink 4 to 5 drinks a day. The energy drinks contain vitamin B3 and too much of it causes liver damage. According to the medical report, he thought he had a common flu with symptoms such as lack of appetite, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. However, when he arrived to the hospital, his urine turned black and skin became yellow. Both were signs of hepatitis. The man had no other engagement and no other way that could give him hepatitis, nor any family history or liver disease. After testing other likely causes of hepatitis, it was concluded that the damage to his liver was from the energy drinks. After 6 days in the hospital, the patient was finally discharged. That's it for you guys today. Back to you in the studio.
Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest event to raise awareness about the disease. Reporter Jillian Rulain was able to talk to a few who are walking for a cure. She has more on the story.
Walk to End Alzheimer's was held this weekend at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Thousands of people came to support the largest event to raise awareness and funds for Alzheimer's care, support, and research. I talked to Ronald and Emma Lara to hear their story about how Alzheimer's has affected them.
I'm here today to help fight the epidemic of Alzheimer's. My mom, Emma, she's been battling Alzheimer's for about 5 years.
What's your favorite thing about the Alzheimer's Walk?
The walk. No, because I like walking.
So I see that you have a blue flower. What does that mean?
A blue flower. Gee, this is hard.
Are you ready for this?
$13,210.90. You're fine, no worries. Let's see what says over here. Yeah. Orange means you support. Purple means that you've lost someone. Yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blue means you have Alzheimer's.
Blue means you have Alzheimer's.
Okay, now I know what I'm doing.
Yes, you do. Awesome.
This was their second time they have participated in the walk to join the fight for finding a cure. For OC News, I'm Jillian Rulin.
After a dramatic game last night in baseball, the epic matchup between the Cubs and the Indians will end tonight. Alan Huerta has this and more in sports.
What are the best 2 words you can hear in all of sports? Game 7. And that's exactly what we're getting tonight. As the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians will have a winner-take-all Game 7 to crown a new World Series champion. After avoiding elimination back in Chicago, the Cubs were all business last night in Game 6. They got on the board early as Chris Bryant would strike first with a solo home run in the first inning to get the run party started. Chicago wouldn't be done in the inning, though, as Adams and Russell hits what appears to be a routine flyout to end the inning, but Naquin and Chisenhall can't make up their mind as the ball drops in between them to score 2 more runs to make it a 3-0 lead. It was a perfect start for the Cubs. Just 2 innings later, it's Russell again, this time with the bases loaded, and he crushes one to left center field for a grand slam. And just like that, it was 7-0 Chicago. And oh, look at the disappointed Indians fans. After the Indians would get one on the board, Jake Arrieta strikes out Naquin with bases loaded to get out of the 4th inning jam to keep it a 7-1 lead for the Cubbies. And in the 9th inning, Anthony Rizzo blasts one to right field to make sure the Indians had no chance of a 9th inning comeback, putting the nail in the coffin of the Tribe beatdown. The Cubs would go on to win with the final score of 9-2 to force today's Game 7. Now, Chicago will throw out Kyle Hendricks tonight against the Indians' best ace in Corey Kluber in the biggest game of both of their careers. Now, no pressure whatsoever, but the Indians haven't won a World Series since 1948. And for my non-math majors, that's 68 seasons ago. And well, you think that's a long drought? Chicago's is even worse. The Cubs haven't won one since 1908. That's 108 years ago. Now, I know Cubs fans love to blame the curse. They love to blame Steve Bartman with the Moises Alou incident back in 03. But that was then, and this is now. Both teams are just one win away from a World Series. This is what you live for. Now, whether you're going for the Cubs or the Indians, one team will break their World Series drought tonight and be crowned World Series champions. First pitch tonight just went underway, and the Cubs just took a 1-0 lead after a leadoff home run by Dexter Fowler. And although it's 1-0, this should be an all-time classic, so make sure you keep watching it. On to basketball, where the Lakers were in Indiana looking for their first road win of the season. In the second quarter, Tariq Black goes up for the slam, but is denied by Miles Turner as Paul George quickly pushes the ball to the other end and finds a trailing Turner, who makes the extra pass to Monta Ellis for the open three. With the Lakers down by 1 with under 2 to play, Lou Williams dishes it off to Julius Randle, who finishes off the two-handed slam to give the Lakers the lead. But in the final minutes, it was the Paul George show as he put on a clinic. Down by 1, he spins off D'Angelo Russell for the pull-up jumper that regains the lead. And on the next possession, it's Paul George again, who this time hits a step-back jumper over D'Lo for his 3rd straight basket to make it a 3-point Pacers lead. With 38 seconds left, Jordan Clarkson passes up on a 3 to attack the rim, but George's great defense alters JC's shot, and that would be the ball game. The Lakers would fall to the Indiana Pacers 115-108 behind Paul George's 30-point performance. Now the Lakers return to action tonight as they'll conclude their 4-game road trip against the Atlanta Hawks. That's all the sports we have for today. Back to you, ladies.
And I cannot wait to see how that Cubs and Indians games ends. But coming up next, a supermodel was said to be too large for a fashion show runway.
And the Starbucks Cubs are back with the twist. Stay with us to find out more after the break.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities. Chess really isn't my thing. I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
Find out which supermodel was called overweight and is now on top. A celebrity posted another dreadlock mishap and a first look at a Disney live-action film classic. Naomi Menzer has your entertainment news.
When you think of supermodel, the first face that might come to mind is Gigi Hadid. With her unique, beautiful features, killer body, and endless line of magazine covers, one would think that the supermodel has never faced a bad day in her life. But as it turns out, when she was first cast in Tommy Hilfiger's 2015 show, the casting directors put her in an oversized poncho to cover her body because they said she was not as thin or as tall as the other models. But that soon changed when Hilfiger asked Hadid to design a collection with him, and she was soon strutting down the runway in a crochet bikini. Hadid is now on top regardless of what casting directors think and is in the running for Model of the Year against sister Bella Hadid and best friend Kendall Jenner. Speaking of the Kardashian clan, Khloe Kardashian is receiving some backlash after she posted a photo of herself on her website wearing Marc Jacobs spring dreadlocks. She captioned that she was only trying on the look for fun and also said, "I absolutely despise this on me." Many people did not take well to her new look and accused her of black appropriation. One Twitter user wrote, "Black culture isn't a fashion trend. Stop." While others remarked that this is not the first time Kardashian has been criticized when she wore her hair in Bantu knots in a recent episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Some fans did come to her defense, saying that she looked great and were confused as to why people thought this was black appropriation. On a lighter note, Entertainment Weekly has released the first few photos of the highly anticipated live-action Disney remake of Beauty and the Beast, starring Emma Watson as Belle and rising star Dan Stevens as the Beast. Fans have been dying to see how the duo would look on screen, and now they finally get a peek. Watson looks Belle perfect in her yellow gown, while Steven looks, well, beastly. Hopefully fans will not be disappointed by the iconic ballroom scene because I'm blown away. The film has an all-star cast, including Kevin Kline as Belle's father, Ewan McGregor as Lumiere, and Emma Thompson as Mrs. Potts. The film will be in theaters March 17th, 2017. Back to you in the studio.
Starbucks isn't making headlines for what is inside the cup, but for what is found outside. Reporter Carolina Quixano has more on the story.
The new Starbucks holiday coffee cups have just been revealed, and this year they're green and show over 100 people drawn with just one stroke to show unity in a time of political divide in the country. I talked to a few Starbucks fans to see what they had to say about these cups.
So what I really like that the cup is kind of joining everyone together during this political climate. It's really divisive, and I also really like that it's kind of showing that we're all cut from the same cloth, even though we have our differences.
Well, I kind of feel like it's really smart of Starbucks to do that, especially because contrast of last year with the red cups and then bringing a lot of controversy to it. So I really think in a more business side, it's really smart for Starbucks to do it. In a more like general population wise, I think it's really like a good way of Starbucks to kind of, I guess, unify people, and then in a way bring in people that were mad about last year's cups and bring in those people and have them more interested and more or less trying to bring up controversy and more invited into purchasing and being part of the Starbucks like family that they're trying to associate with.
Well, I really like it. It's something new and something different from last year after everything that, was controversy with the cup. So it's cool. I like it.
Kudos to Starbucks. Now everyone get in the holiday spirit like me. For OC News, I'm Carolina Quixano.
Well, I can't wait to get a pumpkin spice latte in those new cups. But that's going to do it for this edition of OC News. To stay up to date with us, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all of our other social media accounts. From Cal State Fullerton, I'm Raylan Taylor.
And I'm Roxana Paul. See you all next time.